Welcome to our channel, where we dive into the most spine-chilling ghost stories from around the world. We're about to embark on a chilling journey, exploring the darkest corners of the paranormal. Today, we're counting down 10 terrifying real ghost encounters that will haunt your dreams. These are not just stories, these are real events that have left their mark on those who experience them. So turn off the lights, grab a blanket, and get ready to be scared. This is the real deal. Our first stop takes us to the legendary Queen Mary, a majestic ocean liner docked in Long Beach, California. This once glamorous vessel has a dark side, a history soaked in tragedy and despair. Many souls perished within her steel hull, their energy lingering long after their physical bodies have passed. Guests and crew members alike have reported chilling encounters, whispers of voices in the dead of night, cold spots that send shivers down your spine. But the most famous resident is the Lady in White, a spectral figure often seen gliding across the first-class pool area. They say she's the spirit of a young woman who died tragically in the pool many years ago. Her presence forever etched into the very fabric of the ship. Imagine yourself standing on the deck, a cold mist rolling in, the air thick with the scent of salt water and something else, something you can't quite place. You hear the faint sound of music, a haunting melody from another time. Then, out of the corner of your eye, you see her. A fleeting glimpse of white, gone as quickly as it appeared. The hair on the back of your neck stands on end, your heart pounding in your chest. You're not alone. The Queen Mary holds on to these spirits, their energy trapped within the confines of its steel walls. Deep in the heart of Louisiana lies the Myrtles Plantation, a place steeped in history, beauty, and a darkness that chills you to the bone. It's a place where the veil between our world and the next seems thin, where the echoes of past tragedies still resonate. The plantation's sinister history is tied to the tragic figure of Chloe, a slave who met a gruesome end. Legend has it that she was caught poisoning the plantation owner's family and was hanged for her crimes. But her story didn't end there. Chloe's spirit is said to roam the plantation, her presence marked by strange and unsettling events. Visitors and staff have reported seeing objects move on their own, doors slamming shut with no explanation. They've heard disembodied voices whispering in the darkness, felt the icy touch of an unseen hand. There's a palpable sense of unease that hangs heavy in the air, a feeling that you're not alone, that you're being watched by something you can't see, but can definitely feel. One of the most well-known pieces of evidence is a photograph taken in the 1990s, a chilling image that appears to show the figure of a young woman standing between two of the plantation's buildings. Her clothing, her stance, it all points to Chloe. Is this photographic proof of the afterlife, a glimpse into a realm beyond our own? Our journey into the heart of darkness takes us next to Adams, Tennessee, home to one of the most well-documented and terrifying hauntings in American history, the Bell Witch. This is not just a story of a haunted house, but of a family tormented by an unseen entity, an entity that seemed to possess a personal vendetta against them. Imagine, if you will, a pioneer family living in the early 1800s, scratching out a living from the unforgiving land. Life is hard, but they have each other. Then something dark and sinister enters their lives. It starts subtly, strange noises in the night, whispers in the darkness. But it quickly escalates. The entity, which they come to call the Bell Witch, becomes more aggressive, more malevolent. The family is subjected to physical attacks, scratches, pinches, even being slapped by unseen hands. Their sleep is disturbed by the sounds of gnawing on the bedposts, scratching at the walls. The children are terrified, the parents helpless to protect them from this unseen terror. The entity, it seems, takes particular delight in tormenting John Bell, the patriarch of the family. The torment becomes too much, driving him to the brink of madness. And then, in a tragic turn of events, John Bell dies, many believing he was poisoned by the witch itself. The Bell Witch case is unique in the annals of paranormal history. It wasn't just a case of a haunting, it was a case of a haunting with a purpose, a target. Why this family? What did the entity want? These are questions that continue to haunt us to this day. Chapter 4. The Stanley Hotel. Our next destination takes us high into the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to the imposing and majestic Stanley Hotel. This grand old hotel, with its sprawling grounds and breathtaking views, has served as the inspiration for countless ghost stories and horror films. But the Stanley's dark side is not a work of fiction. It's woven into the very fabric of the building. The hotel was built in 1909 by F.O. Stanley, a wealthy inventor, and his wife, Flora. They poured their heart and soul into the hotel, creating a luxurious retreat for the wealthy and elite. But their presence, it seems, lingered long after they were gone. Guests and staff have reported seeing apparitions of the Stanleys, still going about their daily routines as if trapped in a time loop. But it's not just the Stanleys who haunt the halls of the Stanley Hotel. There are whispers of children laughing and playing in the corridors, the sound of phantom piano music drifting from the ballroom. Room 217, made famous by Stephen King's The Shining, is said to be a hotbed of paranormal activity, with guests reporting objects moving on their own, lights flickering, and a general feeling of unease. What is it about the Stanley Hotel that attracts the paranormal? Is it the tragic history of the hotel, the stories of guests who died within its walls, or is it something more, something about the energy of the mountains themselves? A place where the veil between our world and the next is thin. Chapter 5. The Villisca Axe Murders. We journey now to the heartland of America, to the quiet town of Villisca, Iowa. It's here, in a nondescript house on a tree-lined street, that one of the most gruesome and unsolved murders in American history took place. In 1912, the entire Moore family, along with 2 young guests, were brutally murdered in their sleep, their killer never brought to justice. The house, now a museum, is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most peaceful of places. Visitors to the house have reported experiencing a range of paranormal phenomena, from disembodied voices and footsteps to objects moving on their own and even full-bodied apparitions. One of the most disturbing reports is that of children's laughter echoing through the house, a chilling reminder of the young lives that were cut short on that fateful night. Others have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the corners of their eyes, a feeling of being watched, of not being alone. The Villisca Axe Murder House is not for the faint of heart. It's a place where the past bleeds into the present, where the weight of tragedy and violence hangs heavy in the air. Chapter 6. The Smurl Haunting. Our next stop takes us to West Pittston, Pennsylvania, to the unassuming home of the Smurl family. Their story is a terrifying reminder that hauntings don't just happen in old, creepy houses. They can happen anywhere, to anyone. In the 1970s, the Smurls began to experience a series of disturbing events that would continue for over a decade. It started subtly, strange noises, objects moving on their own, but it quickly escalated into something far more sinister. The family reported being physically attacked, scratched, bitten, and even sexually assaulted by unseen entities. Desperate for help, the Smurls turned to famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens, convinced that the family was dealing with a powerful demonic force, performed a series of exorcisms in an attempt to cleanse the home. The Smurl haunting made headlines around the world, their story chronicled in books and television shows. It's a chilling reminder that the paranormal doesn't discriminate, that it can invade even the most ordinary of lives. Our journey takes us across the pond to England, to the North London suburb of Enfield. It's here, in a seemingly ordinary council house, that one of the most well-documented and controversial poltergeist cases in history unfolded. The Hodgson family, a single mother and her 4 young children, were subjected to a terrifying ordeal that would capture the attention of the world. It began in 1977 with strange noises and objects moving on their own, but it quickly escalated into something far more frightening. Furniture moved violently, objects levitated, and disembodied voices whispered threats. The focus of the activity seemed to be 11-year-old Janet Hodgson, who claimed to be possessed by a malevolent entity. The Enfield poltergeist case attracted the attention of paranormal investigators Maurice Grosse and Guy Lyon Playfair, who spent over a year documenting the events. The case divided public opinion, with some believing it to be a genuine case of paranormal activity, while others dismissed it as a hoax. Despite the controversy, the Enfield poltergeist case remains one of the most compelling and unsettling hauntings in history. Chapter 8: The Ghost of Room 502. Our next stop takes us to Waverly Hills Sanatorium, a sprawling abandoned tuberculosis sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Waverly Hills is considered one of the most haunted places in America, its history steeped in death and despair. Thousands of people died within its walls, their souls unable to find peace. One of the most well-known stories from Waverly Hills is that of the ghost of room 502. Legend has it that a young nurse, pregnant with a doctor's child, took her own life in that room after being abandoned and ostracized. Her spirit is said to roam the halls, her cries of anguish echoing through the empty corridors. Visitors to room 502 have reported feeling a cold, oppressive presence, as if someone or something is watching them. Objects move on their own, doors slam shut, and disembodied voices whisper in the darkness. Waverly Hills is not for the faint of heart. It's a place where the veil between our world and the next is thin, where the echoes of suffering and sorrow still linger. Chapter 9: The Grey Lady of the Tower of London. Our journey takes us now to London, England, to one of the most iconic and historic buildings in the world, the Tower of London. For centuries, the tower has served as a royal palace, a prison, and a place of execution. It's no surprise, then, that the tower is said to be one of the most haunted places in England. One of the most famous ghosts said to haunt the tower is the Grey Lady, believed to be the spirit of Lady Jane Grey. Jane was Queen of England for just 9 days before being deposed and executed by her cousin, Queen Mary I. Her tragic story and violent end have left an indelible mark on the tower. Visitors and staff have reported seeing the Grey Lady gliding through the tower's corridors, her grey silk dress trailing behind her. She's often seen near the Tower Green where she was executed, her mournful cries echoing through the night. The Tower of London is a place where history and horror collide, where the stories of the past are forever etched into the very stones of the building. Chapter 10: The Haunting of the Ancient Ram Inn. Our final destination takes us to Gloucestershire, England, to the ancient Ram Inn, one of the oldest and most haunted inns in the country. The inn dates back to the 12th century and has been witness to centuries of human suffering and tragedy. The ancient Ram Inn is said to be built on a pagan burial ground, and over the years there have been countless reports of paranormal activity. Guests have reported seeing full-bodied apparitions, objects moving on their own, and feeling icy cold spots. Some have even claimed to have been physically attacked by unseen forces. One of the most disturbing aspects of the ancient Ram Inn is the sheer variety of entities said to haunt the building. There are reports of human spirits, both male and female, as well as animal spirits and even demonic entities. The ancient Ram Inn is a place where the veil between our world and the next is thin, where the boundaries of reality seem to blur. It's a place that will stay with you long after you've left, a chilling reminder that some things cannot be explained. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these ghost stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling content. We're always on the hunt for the most terrifying and unexplained phenomena, and we want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a ghost encounter? Share your story in the comments below. Until next time, stay spooky.